My name is Felix Valencia. In this program, I'll be introducing what's known as stalemate. Now, this is designed to help understand what to let go, what not to let go in a standoff situation. I'm going to have Matthew come in. And what Matthew's going to do is he's going to do a thrust to me. And I'm going to grab his wrist. And I'm going to thrust to him. He's going to grab my wrist. Now, in this situation, a lot of people say, well, easily give a headbutt. So Matthew will give me a headbutt, and I go palm up. He'll run into my knife. If he does a knee, palm down, run into my blade. And we could do what we call baby cuts and just cut each other up little by little. But I want to go and now introduce you about a series of techniques and which one will you favor and which one is leverage against a 300-pound man with a solid grip. And there's going to be certain things that you could pull off and explode into and be the dominant person on this. So Matthew, again, 1, 2, and we're going to do what is known as a slap and thrust. What I'm going to do, the moment we touch, I'm going to step out, triangle with my footwork. I'm going to slap and thrust. By doing this, I got to my farthest range and still was able to stab him right in his ribs without him being able to counter me. Now what I'm going to do is turn it around and give it from another angle. Matthew is going to thrust. I'm going to thrust, slap, thrust. And for him to come after me, he's got to turn, and I could anticipate his cut from there. Okay. I'll go a little bit faster. Go 1, 2. Now some of the do's and don'ts in these techniques is once you go 1, 2, if you've got a man that has a big hands, big grip, the hardest grip, and you kind of just can't do it, well, there's other ways of doing this. The next one, and you watch it for your training partner, is go palm up under his elbow and hyperextend it. And go into, instead of slap and thrust, hyperextend and then thrust. Okay? So 1, 2, pop it, and then stab. Now, if you're not comfortable, again, that's off an explosion. The moment you touch, boom, hurry up and go, slap and thrust. We're going to go into another technique. It's still slap and thrust, but we're going to add a disarm, slap and thrust. This is much more safer for a lot of people. So Matthew's going to attack. Again, 1, 2. Now what I'm going to do is nonchalantly get my blade to cross his arm and then put it together. You notice it's a disarm, slap, and then thrust. Now with this, I don't really need the footwork because I still have the knife. So again, he's going to go 1, 2. Over here, pull, push, slap, and then thrust. Now, I'm going to bring it around and show it from another angle. He's going to thrust. 1, I'm going to thrust. 2. Now cross, pull, push, slap, and then thrust. Some of the do's and don'ts on this is, from here, if you grab the wrist, don't grab forearm wrist. Grab wrist, hand, half of the hand, so you have the leverage when you need it. If you grab forearm and wrist, that area, he could bend and just literally still keep the knife. The other thing is, try to put it together. When you cross, put them together, the knife and his forearm, and then pull, push. If you start from here and his wrist is still flexible, he just bangs himself. When you put it together, it's leverage. Okay, from here, slap, and then thrust. Now, in this technique, we call it the outside circle. Matthew's going to come in. He's going to thrust. 1. When you hold this, when you do the outside circle, make sure it's like a hammer grip. So when you thrust, we get the end of the knife, which is known as a puño in Filipino terms, and run it over his forearm. Now, I made a small circle, so I'm going to drop a slash down his center, down his nose, and then stab. Again, I'll do it in a small circle. He could grip as hard as he can. Outside, drop, and then stab. Now I'm going to show you really close up what we call it outside circle. I'm going to have Matthew hold it tight. Have the circle, just the puño, right over his hand. He's already having a hard time gripping it. Now I drop the strike 12 and stab. Now some of the do's and don'ts. The reason why we call this outside circle rather than inside, because if we go inside, he could recatch it every single time. See? And again, you recatch it. So it's a circle game. But if you go outside circle, he can't recatch in time. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and show you from another angle. I'll have Matthew move to the other side. Matthew thrust, 1. I'll thrust to him, 2. Now from here, let me show you how the puño, or the end of the handle, hooks over his wrist and just drops and goes in. The mistake I see is when people do this and they drop, then they load up a big thrust and come in, and it's a recatch again. That's why when we do a circle drop, we do it from here. We don't load up. It's a blade. It'll still work no matter what. So you don't need to reload. It gives him reaction time. So watch what happens if I do this and Matthew now reacts. And you have to start all over again. Now this is one of my favorite techniques as far as a small man against a big man. I'm what, 200 pounds? I could use this technique against a 350 to 400 pound man if I had to. Any size. It's just a matter of leverage. Now this is called riding the elbow, and I'm going to have Matthew come in. Matthew will thrust, I'll catch. I'll thrust to him, he'll catch. Now what I'm going to do is triangle step with my right leg out, hop this elbow over this arm, and collect and stab up. Do it again. 1, 2. I'm going to triangle, collect, stab up. Okay. Let me go ahead and give you from another angle. I'll have Matthew come in. Matthew will stab. 1. I'll stab to him. 2. Now when I step, I don't want to step in front. I want to step outside, triangle, hop over, and stab him. Now make sure your tunnel is cleared. And what I mean by tunnel is this other arm, or even your arm. Look what happens if you're sloppy. You're slicing yourself. So what you want to do is open the center line, collect him here, and stab up, palm up. Now I'm going to have Matthew actually grip as hard as he can. Okay, as hard as he can. Ready? He doesn't have it. And then besides this, if I'm stepping outside, I could actually just drop on him from here. Now this next technique is called going under the tunnel. And I'll have Alan come in. And Alan will thrust to me. I'll thrust to him. Now, you have to be a storyteller on this. You have to kind of give the guy a reason to head fake this way, so his energy, everything goes that way. But in reality, when you go here, this knife hand goes to his hips, this head goes under, and you pop it up, walk around. You got it from here. Again, 1, 2. Now from here, Alan will thrust to me, I'll thrust to him, and we're in stalemate. I'm going to give a quick head fake so his energy goes this way. And I'm going to go, his knife hand pinned to his hips. It's got to be on the opposite side, because if it's up here, it'll follow me and get me from behind. So right here, when you walk it through, walk it all the way around and do an actual squat. And just keep on walking and clear your legs. You don't want any of your legs to be in front of him, because if he knows he's behind a curve, he might do a Hail Mary and kick his legs up and you go with it. Well, 1, 2. Let me go ahead and give you from another angle. I have Alan come around. He'll thrust. 1, 2. Now, what's so great about this is, what stalemate is designed for is to know his energy. If he's attacking me, if I know his energy is coming forward, then maybe I won't throw a slap and thrust from the other techniques or this and that, but I know his energy is here, coming forward. So I want to head fake, come under, and stay away from that energy, which is the knife hand. Later on in the game, you could mix and match everything, and we'll go over the second part of this. But for now, there are counters to all these techniques. But if you could pull them off, you dominate right away. One body part you could use to break the grip would be the knee. I'll have Alan demo with me. Alan will thrust 1, and I'll do 2, and actually just put the knee on it and put my weight, and you got it. Now, the do's and don'ts on this is, don't put your knee where it bends. That gives, and you'll be stuck like this with your knee on it, and he could still hold the grip. Put your knee right in the beginning of the forearm so he can't hold on to it. Now, some of the things I see all the time is they use the wrong knee. If Alan does it to me and uses the opposite knee, yeah, that way, guess what happens? I push. Thanks. Only because Alan's on one leg, and we know it as one post. So he's posted only one leg. All I have to do is push a little, and he's off balance. If he uses the right knee, the correct knee, and I push, he falls back in balance every single time. 1, 2, and do it. Good, and push. Okay, let me give you from another perspective, another view. I'm gonna go 1, I'll go 2. Right here, I'm gonna break the grip and go. Now, I have some men that are in their 60s. Some of them have bad knees. For this technique, I tell them, it doesn't matter. Alan has to hold on to me no matter where I go. So if I can't lift my knee past my waist, I'm going to lower down my level down here so I can now use it at a lower level. If Alan even thought about letting go, right here, I got him. So he can't afford to let go. He's got to follow me wherever I go. And I could actually start bumping it from here and then going from here. One of the more popular things that people like to do when Alan comes in, he'll thrust, and they always put the knife to my face. Well, when they do that, all you need to do is go blade to blade, jam, and you slap, and you thrust. By doing this, he'll come in 1, 2. I'll jam. I'm going to slap the knife hand because it's going to knock out his empty hand totally out the way. Now he's cross-body, and you've got your window of opportunity opened up really fast for you to get a high cut. From here, let me give you another angle. I'll have Alan come around. Alan will come 1, 2. So I jam, slap, and I thrust. Now in this technique, we actually call this technique energy. The reason why is because when he comes in with a thrust, 1, 2, I can feel his energy just trying to stab me, trying to get the knife into me. So I'm going to go with his energy. So if Alan's actually trying to stab me as hard as he can, I tuck it under my arm. Now from here, people will say, well, why tuck it under your arm? Is it safe? I'm going to have Alan pull, and it's clamped on. With this hand, I'm actually going to hug under his elbow, and I'm going to collect both arms and do a stab from there. Now, you know, Alan's on his tippy toes because what I'm doing is actually hyperextending his arms by pushing up. So what's so great about these stalemate drills is that I feel his energy just wherever he's going, what he's about to do, and I go for it from there. Let me go ahead and give you from another side. Alan will thrust to me. 1, thrust to him. Now he's going. Hug and stab. Let's do a reverse. Now, there is a reverse to this technique that when he comes in, 1, 2, is coming forward at me, I'm going to clamp it, I'm going to hug, bear hug, and if he's holding tight, once I hug, I'm going to pull my hand this way away from him. Because if I try to fight anywhere around here, he still has a good grip on me. I can't do it. So if I push down, now I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to have the knife hand go under both arms, and I'm just going to reverse it. He can't really do anything from there, and I hurry up and dominate the cuts. If I want to give him a hard time, I lift up. Even if he tries to knee me, I push. I could check right here, and I could push him off balance, and still at the same time stab. Now, with this technique, I'm going to go reverse it. He's going to stab, I'm going to stab. His energy is going to come in, and I'm going to do the same technique, and I'm going to bear hug, and this time I'm going to pull my hand this way. Always pull it back instead of fighting him at his grip level. You want to pull it back, and it's away. Now this knife hand is going to snake under both arms, and you've got the grip. You could actually hold it with your wrist to do a wrist lock, and you could actually stab him back and forth just like this. If he throws his knees out or anything else, you could stop it and push once his knee comes up for anything off balance. Just remember, the more you practice with this, the more you're going to know clearance. You got to be able to acknowledge where's his blade and he could get you. And you could also have to acknowledge once you start snaking under, your body and his body's in the way, so you have to be able to clear everything by acknowledging the blade, where it's at the moment, what's in the way at the time. As long as you keep that in mind, your techniques will be clean and not being cut also. This technique was developed in the old World War II eras in the Filipino guerrillas. I'm going to have Matthew attack me when we go into a stalemate. From here, groin shot straight up. Matthew bends, I headlock. He's fighting me from keeping the stab, so he's really got the pressure on me. What I'm going to do is sit down, tuck and roll, and keep the blade on him. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you from another angle. I'm going to have Matthew come from this angle. When he attacks, 1, 2. Now if you notice, Matthew's a little bit, his head's forward, so it's an easy headbutt from right there. It's so close. So he's got to keep his head back, so he's cautious of that. Now I'm going to kick him in the groin, wrap my arm around him for a headlock. I'm going to sit back, and roll. And I keep my knife on top of his chest. Some of the do's and don'ts is knowing which side you're going to go on. If you go here, you give a groin shot, boom. But if you give it here, guess what? You're the one that's being stabbed. Only because in the heat of battle, you panic or you rush it. So if you do it right, 1, 2. And from here, when you sit down, make sure you're bringing him out there when you tuck and roll. You go right here, so he doesn't land on top of you. Now, people constantly ask me, when do you use this technique? I'm going to do a little scrimmage with Matt, and I'll show you, I'll say to the cameraman to stop so we can see where his footwork is at. Now, when he goes in, 1, 2, we go for a little energy. See, his legs are apart right now. Boom, go. And if his legs are tight, we'll start from a tight leg, and from right here, there it is. So even if you use the opposite leg, 1, you can still wrap it here. And this time you could even go to the throat, tuck and roll. I like to go ice pick against saber and stalemate. I'm gonna have Alan attack. It's the same mentality. 1, 2. Okay, from here, you could hook the knife over, ride, slash. So again, he's gonna thrust, I'm gonna stab. You could hook. Once this is loose, ride, hook, spin. One of the things to watch out for when you do this is when you do this, when he stabs, you got to watch out for his energy. Because even though you're riding here, he could also counter you by going palm up. And now you're in trouble. So watch his disarm. 1, palms up, now you're in trouble. Okay? So once you got this, 1, 2, hurry up and do it. Hook him and go. Let me go ahead and give you from another angle. I'll have Alan come in. Alan again will thrust. 1, I'll stab. 2, hook, slash, spin. Yeah. 1, 2. Okay. Again, from a nice pick position, we're going to go into another technique. He's going to thrust. I'm going to come in. 1. Now from here, if you could cross your arms over like this, and this is what I want. 1, 2. I'm going to bend his arm. Use it as a tool. Okay. So he'll thrust. 1. I'm going to stab. 2. I'm going to try to get his arms over or bring it over, cross him. Bring it down and use this as a tool to bend his elbow. You've got him a dominating position right now. Yeah. I'll turn around. I was going to stab. I'm going to stab. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. One more time. 1. Energy comes at him. 2. Now if you're wide, you've got to hurry up and play the game to push. Once you hook this over, this is what you want. Use this as a tool, and you want to roll it. Alan could put his hand on you. He could try to stop it. But once you roll, it's too late. Alan will attack when he comes in. 1, I come in. 2. Now what I'm going to do, in the last technique was over. I'm going to do this under. So Alan will grip on. I'll go this under, pull, disarm, go. Okay. So Alan will attack. 1, 2. If you notice, all you need to do is really, he can make it as hard as he wants, the muscle. All you need to do is roll. Just get a little roll, get the hook in. Drop the knife, switch his hands if you want to. Right here, you could even disarm. You got this, you got here. You can extend, you can knee. Do a knee break. What we just went over was the first phase of stalemate. I'd like to introduce you to second phase, which is counter to the first phase. So I'm actually going to have Matt come in. He's going to do the first techniques on me. We're going to go thrust, 1, 2, and Matt's going to go slap and thrust on me, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to add in counters for these. 1, 2, slap, thrust. I'm going to ride and cut. Okay. So Matt's going to go thrust, 1, 2. He's going to slap and thrust, ride, and then slash. Riding is using, again, the mentality of the stick. When a man comes in, and you can ride on his forearm and throw his energy that way. If you notice, I've got the dominant. My palm is down, knife hand down, palm down. I'm going to go palm up and slash. And some of the things to do in here, once he slaps and thrusts, go high so you could drop on him. If you're down here, he slaps and thrusts, you can't go on top of his forearm. And that's what you want to do, is create dropping. Drop, slap, thrust. Now people, when they ride, they want to go circular. Circular means timing. Dropping means cutting the pie in half. You dominate right then and there. So right here, 1, 2, boom, boom, boom. Let me go ahead and show you from another angle. I'll have Matthew come here. On this side, he'll thrust 1, 2, slap, thrust, ride, slash. For the phase 1 techniques, I'm going to have Matthew do this disarm, slap, and thrust. We'll go slow so you remember what it was. We'll go in the stalemate. He's going to disarm, slap, and thrust. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to do a counter for that. So he's going to go 1, 2, disarm, slap, thrust. I'm going to ride and disarm it from here. And if he even thinks about getting me from here, all I need to do is from here down, stab. So again, he's going to do 1, 2, disarm, slap and thrust, ride, disarm. If I go here, he's going to stop it. I'm going to lift, turn, get him from back. Okay? Okay. Let me go ahead and give you from another angle. 1, 2, disarm, ride, disarm it. From here, stab, lift, and then stab. The do's and don'ts in these techniques. Once he goes 1, 2, and if he disarms it, slap, thrust, don't leave your hand laying around. You got to hurry up and react. The moment he lets go and starts slapping, boom, drop on it, get into a disarm, and ride. Right here, I'm going to go against the side of the blade. 1. You have options. Once he does this, you could still go for a technique from here. Okay. When I'm cross, I'm going to go here to here. In timing and rhythm, and also explosion, if you do not get it off, you might want to consider doing the old lazy man technique, which is what I'm known for doing really well sometimes. So 1, 2, he disarms, 1, 2, disarm, go. Now, that was minute movements. All I did, I'm facing off with you, the camera, and I'm just going to go 1, pass, parry the knife, and straight arm. So when I parry the knife just a little bit, you notice the blade is going this way. I use my forearm to hit the back, the side of the blade, and hit the groin. From here, I could now fold up and then go for a takedown. Now let me go ahead and give you the outside circle counter. You remember the third technique in the first phase, where he goes outside circle and he stabs. Okay. Now we're going to go 1, 2, outside circle, check. Now from that technique, I'm using the energy technique, hug and stab. Again, 1, 2. From here, let me give you from the other angle. And Matthew come around. He goes 1, 2, outside circle, check, hug, then stab. Now my favorite technique was right elbow, and I'm actually going to have Matt come in and do it against me. 1, 2, I'm going to show what it does right here. This is right in the elbow. Now I'm going to show you the counter. 1, 2, rise the elbow, I hook, and I separate. By hooking this, now I could switch hands into him. So he's going to go 1, 2. Now let me go ahead and give you from another angle. Matt's going to come in. 1, 2, rides, and separate. And from here, put it together. Our technique with the tunnel, riding under the tunnel, under the arm, I'm going to have Alan come in. He's going to do the technique on me. He's going to stab me. 1, 2. He's going to head fake me, go under my arm, under the tunnel, and go directly from behind and pinning my arms. My counter is to just lay out. And what I mean by this is 1, 2, he goes under my arm and I drop. He has no tunnel because I caved it in. Now, there's a third level to this, and I will do it right now. When Alan comes under, if you notice his palm is down, I want him to go palm up the center. And this is what's going to happen. 1, 2, head fakes, comes down, goes center, and gets me in center mass, stabbing me. Ready? Again. 1, 2, head fakes, drop, center mass. It's really too late if he gets it off and he curves the knife up. It goes from palm down to go to palm up. It's too late because my arm is already fully extended and his arm is bent. He's got the dominant push. I'll give it from this angle. Now in 1, 2, 1, 2, head fake, boom, drop. He's got the center mass on me. In this technique, Alan's actually going to stab me to the face. With my energy, I won't let him do it, but this is mostly common when they go straight to the face. I go straight to his face. He's going to jam me, knife to knife. He's going to slap. From here, I'm going to counter, right here, 1, and use my forearm to the side of the blade and pull push. If you notice, I get a stab and a disarm. Now, this is what is known as making it largo, stepping back 1 step to get distance, instead of coming in so tight. Coming in so tight means it's almost like an octopus. Everything's all tangled up, anything could happen from there. But as long as you abandon the close range and go into medium to long range, you can see how to counter and see everything as far as limbs of being being an attacking factor to you. So Alan will go 1, 2, I go in, he jams, boom, 1, 2. Now let me go ahead and give you from the other angle. I'll have Alan come around. Alan will thrust. 1, 2. He'll jam. Step. 1, 2. Go. Now the mentality I'd like to give to you is using leverage and using counters and using some of these techniques to help you enhance disarming. I'm going to have him come at me with double knife. He's going to come 1 by 1, thrust 1. He'll thrust the second one. Now what I'm going to do is same mentality as in phase 1, disarm, slap, and thrust. I'm going to have this arm use his arm to pull and push. There's a disarm. Disarm, pull and push. There's a disarm. And all you have is empty hands now. Now again, this is not stalemate, well kind of, but let's go 1 disarm, 2 disarm. Face. I hope in this program I've helped enhance your knife mentality. With stalemate, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of energy, and it makes you that much more of a more enhanced fighter and knife practitioner. People say, why do I want to only practice this and that range, or this and they want to favor one range when they should favor all 3 ranges. Don't be weak in anything you do. Have something in your hip pocket for yourself in case it does happen. And most of all, treat your training partners with utmost respect. Do not hurt them, and use safe equipment. Thank you.